I'm going to be painting tonight, and got a quick little bit of setup here to do. I'm not sure where this is from. I don't know where I got this picture at, but it's a nice picture. Here's, I thought I would be able to paint this tonight, and we'll see how this goes. It's kind of a nice picture. I'm going to leave it on the side over here. I'm going to turn on my paint cam. It is, come on, paint cam. There it is, and I'm going to try to leave my image right up above it there. I'm going to paint here. Oh man, I got a lot of paint on here, don't I? So the paints that I'm using are M-Gram paints, like always. I'm going to be using my Art Secret quill brushes here, and I'm just going to kind of jump in. I know I got a few extra colors in here. Not going to bother me a whole hell of a lot. Trying to paint fast and loose. Trying to adjust how I paint from a little tighter style into a bit of a looser style. See if I can't make that adjustment. I'm gonna bring some of these trees here. Maybe it's a bit cloudier of a day than we thought. I'm gonna bring a little bit of this gray down here. You know what? I don't have any towels. Something's happened to all my towels here. There we go. Let me grab one here. I'm just gonna bring this right on down. Okay. There we go. I'm gonna bring this down to almost to this rock here. It doesn't really matter. I'm gonna be going over all of this anyways. I'll let that sit for just a second. I found my towels. There they are. Put them on the side there. Looks to me like right here somebody's put a finger there or something. That don't make me happy. What are you gonna do? All right, we'll just deal with it. Gonna get a little bit of phthalo green. I'm gonna put a little bit of ultramarine in it. I love phthalo green. I think it's a fantastic, nice, bright, vibrant color. But you can't use it on its own for sure. And if I put a little bit, just a little bit of this yellow ochre in there, it's gonna tone it down real nicely. There we go. I don't like using too much of that ultramarine blue in there. And it's just, stuff just turns blue, and I'm not wild about it. We're way out here in the distance. I can just put in some tree lines here, however they go. Put some more up over here. I don't even know where this canyon is at here, to tell you the truth. I didn't pay attention when I printed this picture out. Maybe I should have. Would have been a nice thing to do, I suppose. But I didn't. It's kind of a cool little place. I was thinking it was Sabino Canyon, which is in Colorado, I believe. But I looked at it earlier today, and it doesn't look like that to me now. So I don't know. I'm just going to bring that down like that. We're going to have other stuff that's going to go in here, but just bring that way down. The next thing I'm going to do is I got some trees I need to put in here. Those are going to be our distant hills back there. Again, I don't like super blue. Some people put it in really blue. I'm not a big fan of it. I am going to drop down one size brush though. That's a big brush. And I'm gonna mix up a darker green right in the same pool. This is mixing in some olive green in there, maybe a little bit more of that phthalo green. It's still too dark to do, so I'm gonna come into this little pool of color I've got here, put a little bit of Payne's gray in there, a little bit of yellow ochre in there. I can get some of that red in there, that's fine. And I'm going to give a nice light wash on some of these rocks here. We vary these colors a little bit. I'm kind of okay with that too. And I'm not overly concerned at this point if I touch or if I go over a line. I'm more worried about getting some basic colors on here than anything. Well, that's got a nice red in there. I just want to get all of these rocks in here, let them play fairly nicely. Something like that. We got this area here in the reference photo has a little bit more red in it. I'm going to drop a little bit of red here, some of my green. It looks like a bit of a mess, so I'm going to take the rest of this green here. I'm going to run it right down here. With any luck, this is still just damp enough. These will all kind of run together. All right, I think that's going to work for us. Just get everything on. Just get everything on the paper. We'll worry about it later. All right, I got some. That's probably just about dry enough. We can go back in and start putting some other colors in here. I'm going to start with my olive green back here. And I'm going to put in a few pine trees that are way back here. Let's see, I got a couple over here. See, this one goes up this way. It's got a friend over here. I don't know. I think he's got a number of friends in here somewhere. I know this guy's got a friend over here somewhere. Ought to be in here. Shoot. Let's give him a little one right next door. And he's got a friend here. That's 3 of them out there on that little outcrop. We'll get to all those. Give them a couple little ones in here probably. A little lighter touch maybe. There we go. What's happening? I'm pressing too hard on here. Come on. Little light touch. There we go. We got some nice trees going on there. I'm going to kind of extend these up off the side maybe. I don't think, even if you had a huge frame, I don't think you would see those. And I don't think I'm going to put anything else out that way. But I do want to lighten this up now. Maybe a bit of this gamboge in there. A little bit of this Hansa yellow maybe. A nice lighter green. As I come down to the face of this rock, I gotta darken that a little bit. I gotta do something with that a little bit. Got a bunch of other trees in here. And other bushes and grasses and whatnot. Growing underneath. Something like this. I don't think I had the best plan with this one. That's all right. Thought, man, I'm going to start right from the top and come down. Just paint right on down, and I don't think that's working for me. I think I want to get some of these in here, but I want a lot of these darkers in the back. This is going to be fine. I think this is going to work out fine. Get a lot of that color in here. This is going to come way out here. Just touch this one and let this come down. It'll fade down to the back. We got some of these other ones. Some lines or sticks or something in there. We're going to put on something in front of this anyway. And once we get off of that edge, we can pretty much do pretty much whatever we want with drawing these colors in here. Right, we want a little bit of this jagged stuff out on the edge, but once we get close to the rock in here, close to the middle, we just fill that in. There we go. We're preserving our light out on the edge. Maybe not so much in here above that rock. There we go. There we go. We're going to get some other stuff right in the front of here. It'll go right over top of all that stuff. That's going to be all good, all good. And this is going to come down here. Let me get an old cloth to clean this with. Clean this brush out. Look at that white spot there I don't like. I didn't really want there. And let's see, we got a bit of maybe this darker color, it looks like, down here. This is going to run a little bit, but I'm okay with that because it's going to help to fill in some of that area down there. Maybe it comes up into here and fills in some of this area before we turn back to a bit more green that's growing down here. And shoot, there's a pine tree here we totally missed. I got it drawn on there. Totally missed that one. I'm trying to do this and be a little bit brave. Sometimes when I paint, I get a little skittish, and I don't make my layers very dark. And then I got to go back over them 2 and 3, 4 times. I don't want to go back over this 2, 3, 4 times. I want to go over this like twice, if that. All right, I want to. Let's see. I want this to be something that's going to be done without having to go over it a dozen times. And I think that's going to help me as I'm trying to work on painting things a little bit more loosely. If I do it a little bit tighter, if I paint a little bit tighter, a little bit harder, right, then I've got to go over it. I've got to make sure things are just right. I've got to get it this way. I've got to get it that way, and I don't want to do that. I want it to stay nice and loose and not get all crazy like that. And so, trying to loosen up, trying to work quick, trying to work wet into wet. We'll see how that's gonna go here in a little bit. I don't know. But what I want to do before I do anything else, I gotta look at this rock here. We're mostly dry. Feels a little damp over here. I don't want to darken up. I got some areas in shadow, like this part here. It's gonna be in the sun, and this other part's a bit darker. So I'm gonna mix up a nice bit of darker color here. Hang on, let me get this red, all this red out of here. What am I doing with all that? Man, that's a ton. All right. I don't even remember what did I paint last that had all that red in it. Let's see, we got a few different colors in these rocks here. I don't know, they don't need to all be the same. So this is a plant here. I need to kind of go around this in a negative plant-ish way, if that's a thing. And this is a rock, so I can just go right around that. If I can do that without putting my fingers in everything else I painted. That's going to come right down here into this rock-ish area. Should be able to get around this fairly well. Get a little bit more Payne's gray. I like the way that this is looking at Payne's gray, maybe a little bit of neutral tint, and the gamboge in here. It's giving me a nice color. Nice kind of a rock-ish color. Something similar to the reference photo. Where's the reference photo? Over there. Something similar to that a little bit. Maybe I use a little bit more of this neutral tint. See if I can't darken this down here a little bit. I ought to be able to make this pretty dark if I want to down here. This is mostly Payne's gray. With any luck, that Payne's gray is going to lighten way up. With any luck. Let's see how that goes. But that's all in deep shadow down there anyway. And then around these plants, I can pull this up a little bit here to whatever the top of this looks like. Maybe there's some few ridges on here. Take this all the way out to the edge, I guess, if I want. Like that. There's a couple little things in shadow over there. A couple here and there. But I don't want this all to be gray. I'm going to add a couple of extra colors. This is deep shadow in there. And maybe really lightly. Maybe I shouldn't do it right now. I'm going to skip on doing it right now. Tell you the truth, because I don't want to add that texture to it at the moment. If I add the texture to it right now, it's going to get all wonky. I'll end up hitting a bit of this texture that I've gotten here. I don't want to do that. Let's just kind of make this look rock-ish. Whatever that means. There we go, right on around there. That's kind of rock-ish, I guess, if you ask me. I would say we'll come in and do some more other texture on that in a little bit. I'm looking to see how wet I am up here. It's still pretty wet. I can't get back up and do anything up there. So I'm going to drop down. I'm going to do part of this rock down here. Got that nice blue color there. Got this nice yellow gray. Had a whole bind set of paints tucked away, and they've got an actual color called yellow gray. A gray, ochre gray, yellow gray, something like that. Of course, it's not. It's a what am I trying to say? It's not a yellow gray. It's an ochre gray is what it is. But it's kind of weird. Let's get this all down here like that. We'll see what this looks like. This should look okay. We're all set and done with it. We put a few lines on here. Make this look like a rock sticking out in the sunshine here. There we go. I just noticed I got my wrong label on here. It says I'm painting a vulture head. I'm not painting a vulture head. I'm painting a, I don't know, what would you say this thing is? A cliff face? I don't know. Something like that. There we go. That's probably better. I'm going to do that. Oh, back. Oh, look, it's starting to actually look like something. I love that. I love when it looks like what I want it to look like. I want to, one thing I do want to do is I want to make this a bit darker. I don't want to make it super, super dark, but a bit darker. Now I got to get, there we go. Maybe there's some moss or something growing down here. I'm going to make this a bit of a greener gray down here. But definitely darken this up a little bit. It can lighten as it comes out, but way back in that crevice back there, I want that to be nice and dark because I want it to force this one forward. I'm not sure that's exactly how I wanted this, but it's going to be all right. We have a few lines that go here and there. Let's just muss that up a little bit. That's cool. That's gonna work out for us. I'm gonna have to do something with this line right here to connect. Oh, in fact, I could just probably do this to connect these two areas. I'm trying to. Well, another one of the things I'm trying to work on is connecting areas. Now I know this is going to be a bit darker over here because I've got a light here and I'm going to have a light here, so I know this is going to be darker. This will be a little lighter up here, but this is going to be darker here to give me some kind of definition between the two. So I want to make these touch that little bit. I don't want it to be a standalone light connected to a light in any way. So I know that's going to be like that. And my cliffs are starting to get there. I wish I could come back and put a really dark up there. Gonna have to wait. I'm gonna come down here and do this. Let's work a little bit of this umber in here, maybe. I'll warm it up a little bit more. And this one, let's see. I'm looking at the picture over here. Where's it at? Over here. And maybe I can move it a little bit this way. And it looks like the rock line kind of runs down here. So I gotta. This one looks like it's flipped up. It's kind of going that way. This one looks like it's kind of going this other way. Just a few marks here and there. And I want to fill this in. And I got it really dark over here, so I want to make this lighter. I want this to spread all the way. I'm just going to put a bead of water all the way down there so that whatever I put in here is going to run that way. Shoot, look, I got sepia over here. That's a nice dark. That would go well down here. And now I got a kind of a boulder there. Well, you know what? Not wild about this. It looks more like a barrel. I didn't think it was going to look quite like that. That's okay. We can work with it. It only looks like that because we don't see the whole rock. We only see that little bit of the rock right there. We got a little bit of... Maybe I can come back and put a little bit of this green up here on this one now. Real light, real light. Trying not to be real specific about it. I do still want it to be a loose painting. There we go. That's a better... Let me get some of this cobalt green. That's a good, like... It looks like it got a little phthalo green in there. The cobalt green's a nice... like mossy green could go right in there. I'm gonna mix a little bit of this green gold in there. Let's see, is that gonna... Sometimes that green gold is a little too bright. If you can water it down a little bit, sometimes it works out for you. Sorry, I got a little bit of moss and stuff growing on there. Maybe that grows right around that corner. That corner doesn't need to be that sharp. All right, and now I get to put some greens and reds and oranges up here. I'm gonna drop down one other size brush. Pick up a number 1 size quill brush here, and 1 second here. Come on, there we go. Now I can see everything. I had to spread everything out on my. I'm going to do this. Let's see. Give me a little bit of my pine tree color here. Maybe a little bit more of this green gold in here. Really warm this up. And I'm going to, let's see, I should be able to get up here. I can get up there. I'm going to put a couple little pine trees in here. Probably should have waited and done the back first, but it's still, I still got some damp up here. Would have been a little better thing to do, but sometimes you got to do what you got to do. Now, I don't think anybody's really even going to see all of these little bits of trees over here. I want to bring those down like that. Just couple little tiny pine trees here. We got one more out here. This little guy, he's just hanging out on the end out there. Just like that. All right. And then I got some orangish reddish, kind of little brown. Let's see, I'm going to throw just a touch of this alizarin crimson in there. You get too much of that, and oh man, everything is red after that. I'm going to put this right in here. See, I need that a little stronger. And I need to not put my hand in it. Ooh. Let's see. Give me a little bit of. This kind of grows down that way. I think that'll help us out. And then there's a break in it as it grows up this way. I don't want to cover everything up. Maybe as I get to the top, it gets more yellow up here. I certainly don't want to cover everything up. Just would ruin the life in here. And that comes right in front of those pine trees. And then let's get that maroon. That maroon that's a nice strong red color. Let's see. Come on, I gotta get the water level right. I'm just gonna fill this in. Right, a little bit here, a little bit there. We're going to come in, we're going to put just another little bit in front of there. Let's see, that's kind of, I think that growing down there like that, that's going to do okay. That kind of connects those two together. Got a weird bit of an angle here. We can kind of cut that off, I think. All right. And I don't think I want to wait any longer. I want to put some nice dark up here. Let's see, this is where I'm going to use a good amount of this blue. Just to strengthen it more than anything, but you know, our pine trees have this nice, strong color. Let's see, I'm going to come up here. Why am I doing that upside down? I know, because I didn't want to touch that. But I think I can do it without getting into that. Let's see, his friend is kind of leaning out here. Something like that. This is all just about thinking where you want to place one of these pine trees and putting it there. There's no right or no wrong. We just got a lot of stuff growing back there. We can put these anywhere we want. Shoot, this one's going to come way up there. That's really kind of a craggly old pine tree there. Got a little short guy in the middle here, I guess. Look at that. What do you ever do to get that short? Nothing. I don't know what's going on. And then this can be filled in mostly all the way. I want to leave a spot here and there. Pine trees won't cover everything up, but they'll cover most things up. And if you paint it outside the lines somewhere and you really feel like you need to take care of that, this is the perfect place to do it. Look at this guy. How did this guy get such a flat head on him? Look at it right here. Let's fix that. Let's give him an extra little bit of growth and fix that. Now, a lot of people would do this and they would use a brown trunk and they would, whoops, that's a wrong blue. They would try to get the boughs perfect and get them right on both sides and do this and do that. And I don't know that any of that is necessary. I think more than anything, just what you want is to be able to see a little bit of the depth that's here. I think that's more important than trying to capture any specific little bit that you're going to do. Let's just fill a lot of this in. I should have mixed up a lot more of this paint. I don't know what I was thinking. I knew I was going to have a lot to go. We can even lighten this up. We can change the color a little bit. It might get a little monotonous through here. We can throw a little bit of this green gold in. It doesn't really matter as long as, well, I guess one, as long as you like it, and two, as long as it's a different color, different value than the trees behind it. Right? That's the, we just need to make sure that we're showing a little bit of depth in here. That's all we're really doing. You can cover up any of these other ones that you want or don't want. If you don't want to, that's all good. And then fill that right in. I just went over top of these trees. I could just as easily have not have done that. right? And I can come back with a little extra color, and I can charge in. I might be able to charge in. If you wanted a little bit of yellow here or there, you didn't want this dark blue color quite everywhere, just drop in. Don't be afraid to do it. Drop in a little bit of color everywhere else. You know what it's going to do? It's just going to add to what you're doing. It's going to give it a lot more movement back there. Now you got all kind of other stuff growing in there too besides those trees. If you don't like that, you don't want all that, that's good too. You just leave your tree in there the way it was. I think I'm going to put a couple of these trunks down a little bit. I know they're going to run, and I'm okay with that. There we go. We got some movement back there. Looks like something's alive. I really like that. I think that looks good. Let's see. How are we doing here? This is still a little bit wet here. I'm not going to do anything with that. I am going to give us a little bit more texture on this forward rock, I think. I'm going to try anyway. Let's see if I can do this. This brush doesn't like to do anything on the flat side. Yeah, this brush isn't going to do anything on the flat side, but we can kind of give a little bit of indication of some layering here. If this isn't to your liking, when we're done with it, we can just take it right back off of there if you want. It's all good. That ain't a big deal. Let's see. This rock over here, it's got this big split in it right there. We don't have the, I guess the further down we go with this one, the less detail we really get into it. Maybe a little bit of that and a little bit of this, a little bit of this and a little bit of that, a little bit of water. I'm going to bring this down really dark down here. And it should help to make this tree in front, this rock in front pop out that much more, and it really does. The darker I make that, the more it makes that rock pop right out of there. If we're going to do that one, we got to do this other one too. Might as well do it a little bit. This is all in deep shadow over here. Trying not to be afraid, trying to be bold with my colors. A lot of layers of rocks on here. This actually kind of comes out more. I guess if I look at the reference photo, this kind of sticks way out, this dark area here. I'll make it come out like that. You've got a big dark area in the front. I'm not worried about it. I think your eye's not going to look at it. Your eye's going to come up here somewhere. We're going to fix some of that too. And we got this to go, and we got this to go. And I'm going to got a little bit of this. I'm going to put just a few lines on here. Real light. This is a little further back. We don't have quite the detail back here. Just some dots and some lines. Not too much of anything, really. Right, we know we have some striations, or maybe I know we got some striation in the rock here because I'm the one painting it. And I can make that rock look like anything I want it to look like. So because I can do that, I know there's some lines in there that didn't really get brought forward. Here's another one right there, right out to the end. I'm probably going to look back at this tomorrow and I'm going to go, why did I make that so much? Why did I do so much there? That's usually how it goes when I try to paint loose. Had a good idea and I ran with it, and for a while it worked, and then I went, what the heck did I do? Alright, I'm going to put in, get a few other dark orangey plants in here. Just like we did up there. I'm going to drop some in here. Alright, we're going to add an extra layer of foliage here. Foliage, I don't know that foliage is the right term for what we got here. Put some extra weeds and reeds and grass, something like that. Whatever we want to call this. I'm going to put some green in here. I don't always like that it's all red in here. Some of that's got to have some something, right? I don't know. Something like that. Let's see, that's a purplish gray. If I could do that with some of that red. Right on down there, something like that. I don't know. Get up there a little bit. Maybe we can come back and put a few dots in there in a little bit. But now we got a layer here. We got one layer here. That's kind of one. That's one. Then we got two back there in our distant hills. Way back across the way. Kind of developing some kind of, you know what this needs though? This needs something going in front of this. Something else going in front of that. There's not enough. Right, that rock is in the back. That rock is behind. That rock's got to be behind. Got to put something there. Come on, a little stronger. Come on, full strength here. Just let it come all the way back. That's gonna make me feel better. Now it looks like that rock is pushed back further. I think that's what we didn't have before. When I put in this layer, it didn't push this. When I put in this layer of plants, it didn't push this rock back any further. So I needed that to go back. So now what do we got to do? I got some stuff that needs to go in here, and I'm going to do kind of the same thing we did before, except maybe with a few brighter colors. These ones can be in the front. Let's see, most of these are opaque colors here. This cobalt green's a little opaque. The yellow ochre's a bit opaque. I don't know how this is going to work out, but let's take a look and find out. So I'm going to give this guy a tree right in here. This opaque color actually might work out for us. Because we'll be going kind of over everything else. As we come out to the side, though, I'm going to darken this up so we can get over this pine trees back there. Well, give me that olive green. I don't know why I like this olive green color. I love this M. Graham olive green. I think it's a fantastic color. I might be the only one. And if I am, I'm kind of okay with that. Not everybody needs to have everything be the same or like the same stuff. Totally fine with me. And I need to decide, this has got to be behind this rock. So because it's got to be behind that rock, I can't go over it. And I know it's got to be behind that rock because I just determined it had to be behind that rock. It's got to be behind that rock because we've got stuff growing up against the rock behind it. So we've got to deal with that a little bit. As I get down towards the bottom, I'm going to let this get darker, but I'm just going to do a bunch of these same strokes. I call this my cheater pine tree. And then it gets pretty dark back there. Again, I'm not trying to make it an exact copy of the reference photo. I don't want it to be a copy of the reference photo. I've got the reference photo if I ever want to look at it. What I want it to be is my loose interpretation of that photo. And so I'm going to put just a bunch of these brush strokes in. I'm not even trying at this point to paint a particular tree. I'm trying to fill this in with what I hope when you view it will be a whole lot of different brush strokes. So when you look at it, you're going to see stuff going all over the place in here. And because it's going to be all different colors, your brain will interpret it as a lot of stuff growing here. But it won't be any specific thing. I do want to darken that down a little bit. Let's see, give me a bit of blue in there. Some of this, I do want it to be quite a bit darker down here. I don't think I got it as dark really as I want it to be. But I can take care of that with some nearly straight, really thick paint. We'll go right over the top, and maybe down here at the bottom I'll have something or other that will grow in front of that rock, and that'll help to push it back a little bit if I got something growing in front of it here. Just a bunch of brush strokes out here. Again, it's really thick paint at this point, but it should look like a bunch of trees stacked up there. And I think maybe that's all I want to do with this. I don't know. I think it looks okay. I don't know that it's necessarily my best work. But I like it. I like it. I wanna come back in and fix this hard line, and I know that I shouldn't, and I know if I do this, I'm probably gonna goof something up. I probably just did. I don't want to do that. So I'm going to kind of stop there. Call that good for this one. Here's my reference photo. Right, there's what I came up with a quick little loose painting. I don't even know where I can sign this at now. There we go. I'll sign it right in the corner. I had a frame. Oh, I got a frame. I got a frame, but it's not because it's not big enough. I'll have to hold it out here. I don't know, how's it look? It looks okay framed. Not too bad if I pull it down that way. Well, yeah, look at that. Everything looks better when it's framed. Anyway, that's what I got for you tonight. Thank you all so much for being here with me. We will see you later.